ACX Check Part 1, Peak Level. I've decided to take a detour from our series on macros in Audacity in favor of a topic that came up in coaching this week. We'll get back to macros in a future edition of Stuart's Audacity Tips. This installment starts a 4-part series that will provide some very useful information for anyone who is doing audiobook work or long-form narration of any kind, or who may be interested in working in those areas. As always, feel free to pass this along to anyone you know who falls in that category. In one of my VO coaching sessions this week, I was asked about how to address issues with finished audio not passing a client's specifications. In this case, a client other than ACX, that's Amazon's Audiobook Creation Exchange. So the next 4 editions of SAT, including this one, will address the specs that are checked by a tool called ACX Check, which is an Audacity plugin. If you don't already have it, you can download it from the Audacity website here. Wait, what? The question was about a client other than ACX, but we're going to talk about a tool that checks for ACX specs? What gives? Well, the quick answer is that the ACX specs are usually acceptable by other audiobook publishers, so it's a good foundation for these topics. Also, there's a chance I have some other things in mind once we're done with ACX Check. Time will tell. So, to get the ball rolling, let's take a look at typical output from ACX Check. Here's a screenshot. The metrics that are checked by ACX Check are peak level, RMS level, and noise floor. Today we're talking about peak level, and the next few SATs will look at RMS and noise floor, as well as some useful related info. What is peak level? For ACX Check, it means the greatest amplitude or volume found within the audio. It's not an average, it's just a measure of the single highest amplitude point in your audio. In ACX's case, audio must fall at or below -3 dB in amplitude. Keep in mind, we're talking about negative numbers here, so that means any value of 3 or greater is acceptable if we ignore the minus sign. So -3.1 is good, and -2.9 is not. What do we do if the audio doesn't pass the peak level standard? The answer is, we simply reduce the amplitude of the audio. However, there's a bit of a catch here too. Any adjustment to the overall audio will affect the RMS and noise floor metrics as well. For noise floor, reducing the overall amplitude of the entire waveform is not a problem, as that just makes the noise floor lower. Not a problem. The RMS value, on the other hand, needs to fall within a certain window to pass ACX Check. More on that next time. So we want to be careful about how much we affect the whole waveform to fix what's probably one peak value. A better solution is to find that peak, select just the word, or maybe syllable even, that contains that peak, and use the amplify effect to reduce the amplitude of just that peak to -3.1 dB. This should take care of the peak level metric. Running ACX Check again will verify that. If by some small chance there's another peak that needs to be adjusted, just repeat the same technique. Next up, RMS, which is a slightly more complex issue. Don't worry, I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Hope this helps. I'm Stuart.